say it never rains in Southern California, but it's pouring in the Bay.
They level up. I get the attachment token over Jesus. So this is saying that one way that you know that a spirit is more advanced, or that they have a higher ranking in they have a higher spiritual ranking, that that entity is more likely to practice forgiveness. And they will suggest to you forgiveness. That energy will also it will have a benevolent side to it. I get an open cowrie and a closed seashell over the sponge. And this is saying that you know that you're working with a higher energy, because you won't need to do cleansing baths as frequently, because that particular entity vibrates at a higher level. Therefore, the energy that you'll be working with is more pure. They're saying I get the man and the protection stone over the curse. And this is saying that male ancestors that have graduated are great protectors. They are great protectors. Like, masculine energies are great at protecting you, and definitely keeping your energy concealed for people that are trying to peek into it. So that's a little tip there. I get the one of action over the unity stone, over the unity tile. So this is saying that all entities, no matter how they're ranked, they work together. They cooperate with one another. And no matter how evil the entity is, it cooperates with other entities. And you know this to be true because Job had a wager placed on his head by Lucifer and God. I get a closed cowrie over the sheep in wolf's clothing. So this is saying that a higher level entity doesn't operate as a sheep in wolf, as a wolf in sheep's clothing. I get an open cowrie over the boudoir, and the boudoir is saying that ancient ancestors have secret knowledge. They have secret knowledge about they know ancient knowledge in relation to women. Okay, and specifically things such as, the first being on this planet, this first human being a hermaphrodite, or the idea that everything comes from the black woman, or the fact that or the fact that Ifa, the religion, centers a lot around femininity. I mean, have you even thought about how, like, for example, this cowrie shell looks like a vagina? The cowrie shell looks like a vagina. Let me put that back here. Anyway, so those higher level entities have a brilliant understanding of the power of femininity, and they will teach you those things. I get a romance token and a penny over over the cabinet, and this is saying that those entities will also have a deep love for masculinity. But it's petty. So they're saying that what you will notice is that those entities don't really, their polarity is very neutral. They intuit from a very feminine place, and they protect from a very masculine place. I get an open cowrie over the microphone. So this is saying that you'll know a higher ranking entity because it's loud. So you'll know if you're speaking with a powerful spiritualist or a powerful psychic, because their energy will boom. It will have a boom to it. Only booming voices will sound like God. The louder the voice, the louder you speak, the closer to God you are. So I get an intelligence token over the hypnotic bottle. And this is saying that a higher level entity is very intelligent. And they can hypnotize you, but you're probably like, well, I mean, Satan knew the Bible, but I mean, Satan was a high level entity that worked in cooperation with God, and is God worse than Lucifer because God placed a wager on Job's head, and then he was like, yo, we're playing this game. I mean, God and Lucifer, polarity. Anyway, why is my I'm sorry, y'all. I got my dang on pendulum in this video. Sorry. I got the witch token over the teacup. So this is saying that a high level entity doesn't typically stir the pot. They don't spill the tea. They don't really get involved in the drama. They give the truth. I get the elephant and the woman over the mirror. So this is saying that higher level entities help you to see through the illusion of life. Okay, so there is a spiritual hierarchy, and this is how it's determined. Those higher level entities, no matter their polarity, they should be able to see through the illusion of things. Because if you can't see through illusions, then you're definitely a low level entity. I mean, it's a lot of good-hearted people out here. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people that have very good intentions. They're just not enterprising people at all. Okay, they're completely fine working at. They're completely fine with their tax returns for the past 5 years, showing a very incremental increase. I'm talking about a less than 2% increase in their income. They're fine with that, but they have a good heart though. I get an ancestors token over the pig, and this is saying that, and the choose peace token and opening calorie. So this is saying that higher ranking entities, they get very, very upset with you when you cast your pearls to swine. A high ranking entity don't play. A high ranking entity is saying to you, I know wrath, I know love, I know loyalty, I know obedience. Okay? I know wrath, love, loyalty, and obedience. All right. And if you cast your pearls to swine, whether that's the swine is a job or the swine is a person, you need to leave. They will say, leave them alone. Let it go. I get a closed calorie over the jellyfish. So this is saying high ranking entities will never allow for you to walk into a burning house. They will never set you up. They will tell you, this is what you're getting into. You shouldn't do it. But if you do it, I'm here with you to make sure that I'm telling you that you shouldn't have done it when you crying to me. So I get the probability of luck over the marionette doll. So this is saying that a high-ranking entity has the ability to put you on puppet strings, to control your body, control your mind, and to step in and make sure that you do what you need to do when they're trying to make sure that you need to do what you need to do when you need to be doing it. And they will sometimes take over your body to make sure that their mission on this earth will get done. I get an open calorie over the Medusa. So this is saying that, a higher ranking entity does leave you afraid. It should leave you shaken. A high ranking entity is one that you will approach with respect, and you will use a lot of common sense before you even greet it. I get a quarter, the mother, the wisdom stone over the harlequin. A high ranking entity is incredibly valuable, has a lot of wisdom, and they come off very motherly, but that's only after you've built a very strong relationship will you then start to understand that the rules and restrictions that they placed on your life were for your own good. See, we got too many people out here. They think that when they're 18 years old, they leave out of their parents' home, and then guess what? I'm an adult. Look, understand this to be true. Everyone is a child, and understand everyone to be just a highly physically developed child. Okay. Everyone is a child. And you have to understand that if spirit tells you, for example, my spirit tells me, get your ass up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and at 9:45 at night, you will pray and meditate in your closet. You don't need to know why, but I said do it. And now that I did it, I didn't know what it was. It was for my own good. It is giving me a regimen and help me to better control my spiritual power in that closet. And I can tap into silence at any time, which is a beautiful thing. So with that being said, a spirit will be motherly to you. It will not make sense, but you must be obedient. They will tell you to do something crazy, and you have to follow through with it because it will make you better. I get an open calorie in the courage stone over the police officer. So this is saying that a high-ranking entity will arrest your ass. A high-ranking entity will take you out before it will literally take you out. Like if you're not on your path, for example, that entity should put you in a car accident to make sure that you're on your path to wake you up. You should end up homeless. You should catch that disease. You should win $1 million and then lose it all. You should be highly successful and be the symbol of hope and peace for the rest of society. You should. Spirit will use you. They will arrest you, and they will put you on trial and then sentence you to doing what they want you to do. So that's how you know you're dealing with a high-ranking spirit, because it can read through the illusion. It sees beneath all those other layers of who you think you are. Okay? I get the direction token over the Black Plague. So this being pointing north is saying that they will never lead you into a situation that will cause you to get ill or sick, death, disease, no harm. Okay. So if you are working with any entities that have not met any of these requirements that have been spoken about in this reading, then it's not a high level entity. And you probably have weak ass ancestors. Burn some ancestral money. All right, so now I'm about to answer a couple of more questions. So let me clean this up. Just 1 second. Okay, the next question that had been asked, what are the signs that ancestors should be removed from an altar? Okay, so some of the signs that an ancestor should be removed from an altar, they're very freaking obvious. You know, the answer to this question is very simple. If you do something and then bad stuff starts to happen, take them off the altar. It's really that simple. Okay? If you serve the spirit and it's good to you, continue to serve it. If you serve that spirit and it's not good to you, stop serving it. If you worship that spirit and it's not working out, then stop and do something else. It's really that simple. Some of the other signs that an ancestor should be removed from an altar are you get crazy dreams or crazy visions. An experienced priest, priestess, or reader tells you that this ancestor is not willing to help you. The other signs that an ancestor should be removed from your altar are that you know in your heart and in your spirit that this person did not that this person didn't repent from their old ways, that they lack spiritual direction on this earth, and you can expect them to lack that same direction on the other side. Another sign that an ancestor should be removed from your altar is that you don't feel connected to that particular ancestor when you're giving them offerings, when you're worshiping them, or you feel like they're not answering you quickly enough because they may not be ready to help you. Another sign that an ancestor should be removed from an altar is if you know that ancestor has reincarnated. I feel this intuitively, as though you can still deal with the echoes of that energy, but at the same time, they're also saying that should you know that person has reincarnated, perhaps you should put that the person that died and the person that they reincarnated as both on the altar to strengthen your ancestral worshiping power. Another sign that you can take that the ancestors should be removed from an altar is, if there are if you feel that there's a poltergeist in your home, things, pictures start falling off the walls, your kids are acting crazy, or anything that is negative, or anything that it has a neutral effect in your life. If it's negative, if it's neutral, I call it negative myself because it ain't positive. So with that being said, those are some of the ways that you should know how to remove someone from an altar. And I'm sure S. Ali Myers, Enlightenment Transformation, and Iyanla Van Zant have more answers to that particular question. Okay, how do you know if you have strong ancestors? One of the ways in which you know that you have strong ancestors is you have a strong life, okay? If you are struggling to make ends meet, you don't have, and you have weak ancestors. If you are in a situation that you know you shouldn't be in, that's romantic, you living with somebody you ain't supposed to be living with, you know you got weak ancestors. If you got a business that's not thriving and you filing for bankruptcy and you don't know how you gonna get out of it, you got weak ancestors. If you are in jail and you know that you did what you did, you got weak ancestors. Like, look, you got weak ass ancestors. Ancestors don't just look, ancestors are not just these sentient beings that just protect you. You work with the ancestors. So if you're in jail and you did it, then clearly your ancestors are weak because they would have told, like, you didn't work with them and they weren't strong enough to get through to you. And the only way that you can make them stronger is burning ancestral money, worshiping them, building yourself up. See, the thing is, you can't change anybody else. You got to change yourself. You can't change those spirits. You can't change those entities, but you can change yourself. You can make yourself stronger. You can make your connection to them stronger. You can be more dedicated and more serious about your worship, your service, giving your offerings to them to make them stronger, to better help you. So you serve them so that they can help you better serve the world. All right. So yes, a lot of people do have weak ass ancestors, and I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. 99% of the 99.9% of the world has weak ass ancestors. Okay. And that's being very honest with you. You will know that your ancestors are weak because your lifestyle is weak. You lack discipline. You're not obedient. You don't get anything done. You're not living out your dreams. You're working the same job, not working a career, not trying to even find a career. Worship in your praise is weak. You are weak. But guess what? You don't have to stay there. You can always get stronger. And also you got the resources available to you to help you to get strong ancestors. So you damn right your ancestors are weak. Okay, they dehydrated. They ain't got no water to drink. They can't speak to you. Their throats are dry. They ain't got no food to eat. They ain't got no money to spend. They ain't got no prayers over their lives, no protection, no blessings. Your prayers are putting money on their books so that they can get their wings, so they can graduate to higher heavens. Graduate to higher heavens. Okay? So yes, if your ancestors are weak, it means that you're not living out your best life. If you know that right now you can't say, I love my life in its fullness, you have more work to do with your ancestors to make sure that you're bringing heaven on earth. A lot of y'all having these crazy ass dreams because you live in a crazy ass life. Stop calling my phone and getting these readings, asking me about these dreams that are completely representative of a crazy ass lifestyle that you're living. So be in alignment and be less like your ancestors. Teach them how to walk obediently and give them water so that they can be replenished along their journey so that they can be more like you. And they're going to give you their guidance. Trust and believe me. What supplies are needed for an ancestral altar? Well, I say that the most basic supplies that you will need, and this comes from my own experience. I apprenticed under a Apollo priestess named Reverend Priestess Callister in Jonesboro. I apprenticed under her for about 2 years. And in my experience of working under her, she said, it all starts with the water and the candle. Now, with that being said, my spirits have given to me a bit more instruction, and I found that this instruction follows along with what Priestess Callister's spirit guides have told her, and it also follows along with Iyanla Vanzant, who is a Yoruba priestess and or Ifa priestess, and what they've told her. So the basics are a white cloth, a white candle, spring water, and a holy item such as a Bible, the Torah, the Quran, alekes. Look, those are all pendulums, crystals, whatever. Pick a holy item. All right, don't overcomplicate this. But those are the basics that you'll need for the ancestral altar. But I behoove you to be sophisticated with it, to make it gorgeous, and you already know what to put on. You already know what to put on it. You have the resources for it. I'm not gonna give it because, like I said, I should be giving a more advanced course on this, but this is the closest that you're gonna get to a crash course. So accept that. If you got more questions, go to S.I. Lee Myers Enlightenment Transformation, or read a book, Iyanla Vanzant's Tapping the Power Within. All right. What offerings do they accept? So the offerings that they accept, the main one, they love libations. Okay, now I'm gonna say this. I'm in voodoo, so I know that these motherfuckers love them some spice rum. Okay, spice rum and some cigarettes. Now Newports to be exact. Now for y'all that are doing, now for you, if you're asking these questions, you're definitely not that advanced, and you definitely are not at that level. And I'm not the person to even teach that to you, because you'll need you will have you will encounter someone that is initiated that will help you with that. But this is not a video about that type of shit. So the offerings that they accept, they'll accept a range of offerings, but you need to get creative. If you're gonna give them some Twinkies, you giving them some Twinkies because you want them to sweeten up a deal for you, and it's got a good feel. It has a cream filling, which means you have a good feeling, FEELING, about it. And cream, you gotta think, you leave them some Kool-Aid, it's to sweeten up the deal. And perhaps if it's green Kool-Aid, it's to sweeten up a money deal. If you give them some coconut Bacardi, maybe you want to give them something exotic. Sometimes it's just, grandma like chocolate chip cookies, so I'm going to leave grandma chocolate chip cookies. With that said, be sophisticated in your offerings. Think deeply about what you're offering, and why you're offering it. You know what I mean? For me personally, on my ancestral altar, I leave them fruit. I leave fruit just so they can have something to eat, and it's nutritional, not because it has magical properties. I give them spring water, and I'll throw on a white candle, and I dress it up. And that's the most basic of what I will tell you that you need to know. Now, with all that being said, get sophisticated, create your own secrets, your own secret practices and rituals of your offerings, but that's what you need to give them. And if you have more questions, again, check out those resources that I provided to you. And how do you speak to the ancestors? You speak to the ancestors through prayer. Prayer is the greatest weapon that you have, one of the greatest tools that you have in your arsenal to communicate with your ancestors. Prayer is the act of speaking to the ancestors. Now, prayer will do a lot for you. Prayer allows you to call down heaven's resources so that you can put on the armor of God and go to war with the enemy, okay? So you need to understand that it is specific strategic prayers that tell your ancestors, the spirits that walk with you, or any of the entities or astral spirits that y'all be playing around here with, they will attack whatever problem area of your life that you direct them towards. So you can talk to them just as I'm talking to y'all in the car. Okay, that's how you speak to the ancestors. It is a very self-explanatory question. The answer lies within the question. How do I speak to my ancestors? Damn it, you speak to them. You talk to them right now. Cut this video off and start talking to your ancestors for 2 to 3 minutes right now. Okay, can you do that for me? All right. So that's the end of this ancestral worship video. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you all have any more sophisticated questions about ancestral worship, please leave them in the comments section of this video. Now, with that being said, if you need me to follow up on something that was unclear for you that I said in this video, you can feel free to ask it, but I might also reference you back to S.I. Lee Myers Enlightenment Transformation, Iyanla Vanzant. If you want more information about prayer and the power of prayer, please pick up Priscilla Shirer's Fervent, a women's strategy guide for strategic and specific prayer. A women's battle plan, I think. But either way, the book is called Fervent. With that being said, I'm your host, I'm your reader, Quintari Shakir. Please make sure that you tune in next time for all that I have to offer on ancestral worship. And make sure that you subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. All right, bye.
It's been a long time, but I still got love